On the day I was born, I was not a baby, but I was a patient, fighting for my life when I didn't even know what life was. I was given a line of treatment that went horribly wrong for me. On day 4 of my existence, I was lying on a hospital bed in Mumbai, surrounded by doctors, surgeons, and medical staff, all waiting for my father to get me the much needed blood required for my second life-saving transfusion. My mother tells me that in my first 3 days of existence, I almost died in her arms 3 times. Now, given the fact that my bilirubin level had shot up to 33, the normal upper limit being just 2.5, the doctor had told my parents that brain damage was inevitable. At 3 months, it was confirmed. I had a profound hearing loss, and I was also diagnosed with neuromuscular problems. Fate had condemned me into a world with no sound, therefore no speech, and very limited movement. My parents never saw it that way though. As they recounted to me later on in life, they never ever once looked back at what life could have been. They focused their entire mental, physical, and emotional energy on the single-minded mission of ensuring that their son would grow up to lead a normal life. For most of us, possessing normal physical faculties is a given, something we take for granted, and why shouldn't we? For me, however, to be normal, it was a wish, a hope, a desire, and a goal. The race to being normal had begun. My parents, and later on I too, did not know how far we would need to go, how long we would need to run for, whether or not we would even reach our destination. All we knew is that in the pursuit of normalcy, we had to run, and so we ran. Just like every other child, I had a regular childhood of school, homework, and playtime with friends. I also had a special routine, auditory verbal therapy to learn to listen and speak, neurodevelopmental therapy to improve mobility and strength in my joints and muscles. I had these sessions at clinics, one-on-one sessions at home. I had hearing aid trials and fittings. I had 2 cochlear implant surgeries. Care and maintenance of my equipment became a part of my life. But that is not all. I started doing things which children with profound hearing loss would perhaps not dream of venturing into. I started to learn to play the piano, and I started going for speech and drama classes. I still remember my first piano recital at the age of 7. It was with my sister. It was in front of an audience, and it was indeed an amazing moment for me. I then took 3 practical exams in piano and in Trinity, and 2 Trinity theory exams. And in my first theory exam, I scored a perfect 100 out of 100. My parents tell me that through all of this, I never once complained about all the things I had to do. My mother tells me that when I was a few months old, I should just wake up in the middle of the night, suddenly, and I would give a big smile, and I would want to play. In fact, she says that this went on for a few years. I would just wake up in the middle of the night, smile, and then just fall back to sleep. It was as if something within me was helping me not only to cope, but also to strive for more. At the age of 7, I took up badminton, and slowly but surely, it became a way of life for me. I was part of the prestigious Startup Padukone Badminton Center in Mumbai, and I used to train for multiple hours a day, sometimes even twice a day, before school and after school, week in and week out. Badminton is a game of court coverage, speed, agility, and footwork. While my mobility and strength did improve, I still found it difficult given the level I was coaching at. Fortunately, I inherited my parents' outlook towards life. Don't look back at what life could have been. Rather, look ahead at what you want it to be. I participated in tournaments all over the country, and I barely ever made it beyond the initial round. Every loss was a disappointment for me, and the losses were many. So one thing I never really lost was hope. I kept at it, knowing that someday I was going to go beyond where I was. My pursuit for normalcy was now being replaced by my pursuit for excellence. In 2011, I was called for selection and a camp to Lucknow to represent India at the World Deaf Badminton Championship held in Korea. In Lucknow, it was the first time that I was staying away from home, away from my family all alone. I was staying with strangers, all of whom were much elder to me, and they only communicated in sign language. I didn't know any sign language. I slowly settled down. I learned a bit of sign language, and I got used to living on my own. But most importantly, I learned to enjoy my success. I, at just the age of 14 years, was chosen to play for his country. In Korea, I had just won one match, but that match felt better than all the other matches I had ever won so far. I also received a silver medal for being the youngest player of the championship. It was as if it was an acknowledgement of all the effort and the hard work I had put in all throughout my life. Now, standing here, when I look back at that moment, I realize how important it is to recognize not just achievement but also effort. In 2015, I reached the highest point of my career. I won the bronze medal for coming third in men's singles at the World Deaf Youth Badminton Championship. Standing on that podium was an amazing achievement for me, and it made me appreciate things. It reminded me of my sacrifice and the sacrifice of my family that brought me there. They shifted cities, they changed schools and jobs. My sister's life was uprooted when we shifted to Mumbai. My family ran around for my survival, and they lived under a cloud of perpetual uncertainty. I played that tournament with an injured lower back, and I could do so only because I knew how to overcome and succeed like I had always done right from the moment I was born. At the end of 2015, I made a decision. I chose to leave the sport. This was because no matter the success on the court, I was not happy in life. I had lost a lot of my friends due to my constant focus and attention towards the sport. I had lost feeling in living. I was simply lost, and this was a testing time for me. I sought help, and I slowly walked back to the living. I realized that sometimes we must leave the things we love in order to move ahead in life. I chose to pursue law, and I took law entrance exams, and I landed up at NTS Kolkata, one of the best law universities in the country. At this university, I interacted with a variety of people, and they never ever saw any difference. They welcomed me, made sure I was okay, especially my classmates, who understood my requirements and special needs when it came to my hearing. Unfortunately, in the first semester, I felt incredibly sick, and I had lost my way in the course. While recuperating back at home in Mumbai, I realized that law isn't what I'm passionate about, and I chose to drop out. After that, I had 6 to 7 months of doing nothing. This felt very awkward and different for me in the beginning, because all my life I had something to do. I was constantly focused or concentrating on something or the other, right from the time I was 3 months old. Auditory verbal therapy, neurodevelopmental therapy, speech and drama, piano, badminton, school, law school. It was a relentless series of overcoming things, one by one by one by one. It was a drudgery, and I was so tired. I realized that I could use this opportunity wisely. I took a bit of time to relax and reflect on myself. This was the first time in the 19 years of my existence that I really took a measure of my life and what I was passionate about. This was a time that was essential to me, as I could do the simple things that I never really could before and enjoy them. Going out for dinner with friends, going to the movies with friends, going out for late night drives, spending time with family. all of these things became very important to me. It made me appreciate things other than the sole pursuit of normalcy and the pursuit of excellence. When the time came to move ahead, I realized what I was passionate about, and I chose that path. I also went back to playing badminton, but this time for the sheer enjoyment and pleasure of playing the sport. I played at 2 national championships last year, and I won 2 golds and a bronze in each of them. I also played at the Deaf Olympics in Turkey last year for India. Fate dealt me with a terrible hand at the beginning, but with the support of various people, my family, and various institutions, I overcame. Throughout my life, I have come across the most beautiful people who have helped me along. My parents and my sister, my family, my teachers, coaches, doctors, surgeons, therapists, and friends have all conspired to help me make me what I am today. In all our lives, there are so many people who silently contribute to our progress and to our well-being. In the same way, we too contribute to others, thereby creating a virtuous cycle of positivity and gratitude. It is not only people we know, but perfect strangers who enter our lives for fleeting moments but leave huge impacts. For example, on the flight from Ahmedabad to Mumbai, when I was just 3 days old, I almost died. I was frothing at the mouth. But a kind doctor on the plane attended to me and saved my life. My dad tells that when he went to get blood from the bank, they did not have any ice to keep it chilled for the local train ride he was to take back to the hospital. So he went to a local sugarcane juice vendor and begged for some ice. The man readily obliged. He even told my dad, "Fikar mat karo, sab theek ho jayega." So you see, this is the smallest act of kindness that can create a huge difference to someone else's life. In my case, to life itself. I struggled to reach normalcy, but when I got there, I strove for more. I truly believe that I have reached somewhere in life. There is so much more I want to do and so much more I want to achieve. I'm going to go ahead the same way as I always have. With a smile on my face and a belief and the strength that anything is possible. From a kid who couldn't walk properly and had to wear splints in his shoes, to a man who has won 12 national level medals in badminton, represented the country 6 times, including in 2 Deaf Olympics, and won a bronze medal for his country at the World Deaf Youth Badminton Championship. From a kid who couldn't talk properly and had to learn to listen and speak, to a man who's standing here right in front of you giving this talk. I am eternally grateful. It has been an awesome journey. Thank you for being a part of it.